I bought my 2002 Subaru Legacy GT Limited in October of 2013. It had a lot of miles on it, nearly 250,000, but I loved it, and I had always dreamed of owning a Subaru. It wasn't exactly the 2005 STI that I would have dreamed of, but I've learned that I really love the car anyways, and maybe I like it better than the STI. First I got drilled and slotted rotors and put them on. Now the winter hit, and it hit really hard, as pretty much anyone in North America would know. The car handled great. I didn't really have any issues the whole entire winter. Didn't matter how deep the snow got, it really pushed through. I was on the road every day of that winter, and, well, didn't have many issues. Might I add, it was a little bit fun sometimes. Now the winter faded off, and everything seemed pretty fine. Then one day, I started up my car, and this happened.
Yeah.
And so, a new chapter of the legacy begins. Now this may not be exactly what I wanted to happen to my car so early in its life with me, but I had already had about 15,000 miles on it, I believe. I spun a main bearing for cylinder 1, and really, the engine could have used a rebuild anyway. It came out, and not under my control, but from machine shops that were doing the work. It took quite a few weeks to get my parts back, and then once I knew my oversizes, it took only 3 days to get my parts out of California. As soon as I could, given my work schedule at the time, I started reassembly. Now this was a fairly large project for myself, given that I had only done severe engine work on one other car, and I did pretty much all of it on my own. I'm not saying this car is anything special. I made the STL logo by myself, kind of my own little creation. I'm not trying to compare it to an STI. I know it doesn't have all that power. It's just the fact that I hope that once this car's done, after a few years of doing things to it, it'll hold a little bit of a different prestige over many of the other legacies. You'll see that I kept the copper paint color on many of the engine parts because I plan on, as soon as funding is available and the season's right, to paint the car a sunburnt orange metallic. Therefore, the engine would match the paint. Took about a day and a half to get everything out, and, well, about a day and a half to get all put back together. Well, okay, a really long day of engine assembly, and then the next day I dropped it in. There were quite a few issues. Didn't go quite so smooth once it was in, but it wasn't too bad. More of it was double checking things over and over more than I should have, but got done in the end. That's what's important. Here's the initial start. It was nice to have my car back. Now, it took a while for me to actually get this video made, but I have quite a few thousand miles on it, and it's still running good. Had a few little things that I've fixed or had to add: new power steering fluid, some O-rings in the pump, a few sensors, things like that, but it's running great. Hopefully I'll have it for many years to come. Also, since this, I had a bad set of those first rotors, and so I got some gold zinc plated, a little bit better rotors up front, and they look pretty, so that's always good too. Now, a lot of this footage was taken in the fall, even though the engine rebuild was in the, I believe, July time frame. But that's just because it took so long for me to actually get motivated again. Since then, new exhaust. I got a MagnaFlow catback exhaust put on too. Really quieted it down. Great on the interstate. Still has a little bit of rumble to it, which is nice, and at the same time it's quiet enough to be a good daily driver car. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm just trying to reiterate that I'm not putting this on here thinking I have some high horsepower, Ken Block drift car. It's just, it's a project of mine that has been a lot of work, and like I said, hope to have a lot of years out of this car, and maybe you'll see some more videos up.